for you to understand why the position of the diode in the split panel makes it more efficient in handling shading more than the full cut panel that has the diode at the upper section of the panel, you need to understand what a diode is and how a diode works. The symbol you are seeing here is a symbol of a diode, and for you to understand how this diode works, you also need to know that there are different types of diode, but this is the most common one, and it is called a p-n junction diode, which means we are bringing two semiconductors, P-type semiconductor and N-type semiconductor. What is the difference? The P-type semiconductors carries excess holes and the N-type semiconductor carries excess electron. And for you to understand these excess holes and excess electrons, you need to understand what a doping is. When it comes to semiconductor, you also need to understand donodoping and acetodoping when it comes to semiconductor, but that is for another video. So the P-type semiconductor and the N-type semiconductor are now being brought together and joined to form what? A p-n junction diode. You see where the name comes from, p-n junction diode. P-type semiconductor, N-type semiconductor, they are now being joined together to form a p-n junction diode. So if you look at the internal structure of that diode, you will notice a line or a region in the middle that is called the depletion region, separating the N-type from the P-type. The N-type now is the cathode terminal and the P-type is the anode terminal. The basic function of this diode is to allow current only to flow in one direction. The closest thing I can use to reference this is the valve in a tire. You see that valve? You can pump in air from the tip of the valve, but air cannot come out from the other side of the valve. That is exactly what p-n junction diode does. So electron can flow in from one direction but cannot flow from the other direction. So it is just like a return valve, just like you have on your tires. That's exactly the work of the diode. Now that you understand the function and how a diode works, especially the p-n junction diode, let's get down to what it is doing on a solar panel at the first place and why the position affects how one handles shading more than the others. This video is already getting too long, so I will explain that on the next video.